They did a study, University of California, Berkeley, years ago. They want to find out how many times people laughed each day. Where's the psychiatrist, Mark, from the last session? Is he in the room, or did he bolt? Okay. Guess how many times a kid laughed? 250 times a day. The average 4-year-old in America laughs 250 times a day. Okay? Guess how many times we as adults laugh? Speaking of opioids and marijuana and all this stuff. How many times do we laugh? Sir, how many times do you laugh on an average day? 20. You get 20, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, 20? Well, I'll just throw a number out there. We don't count. How about you, sir? What do you say? Maybe 10. Half is funny. Okay, good. What about you? 5. He's got 5. 2.5, 0, right. Well, you're close. The average adult in America, and you guys are into studies, you doctors and medical people are really into studies, right? 7 times a day we laugh. Those little ones are laughing 250 times a day. How many of them are drinking a 6-pack, doing opioids, or smoking a big reefer to have that kind of fun? Anybody? Anybody? Class? Bueller? Anybody? But let me ask you this. How many of you put this on your cheek initially? Raise your hand if you put this on your cheek. A lot of you put it on your cheek. Sir, why did you put it on your cheek? You were watching me. I was doing cheek, but I was saying chin. A lot of you did what I did, not what I said. Same thing with the clap. A lot of you clapped when I clapped, not when I said clap. So how do people learn from us? By what we say or by what we do? By what we do. Ron, your actions speak so loudly, I can't even hear what you're saying, right? So when we look at the concept, the title of this session is about all in. How do we get all in? How do we get to 100%? How do we engage our patients? How do we engage our work staff? It's interesting. Gallup poll had a study, 70%, this is 2 years ago, 70% of employees in America are disengaged at work. So 70% of us in this room, on average, are disengaged. Now of the 70, 20% of them are roaming the halls, spreading discontent. Now, how many of you have employees like that? And don't point if they're here. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And so let's look at these little kiddos, these little 4, 5, 6-year-olds, or who we were before we grew up and we had to, look into opioids and all this stuff. Okay, let me ask you this. How many of you in this room can paint a picture? Raise your hand if you can paint a picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 out of how many we have? 180 or so? Is that right? About 150? Okay, sure, why not? Mindy's like, whatever you say. Okay. Sounds like one of our politicians. Whatever you say. Okay, so here we are. I had about 20 hands up. Who's got a kindergartner or first grader? Please, who's got, okay. I walk into your kid's class today. I'm introduced by the teacher. And I ask these children, I say, how many of you can paint a picture? Same question. How many hands do I have up? All of them. So what's up with that? I mean, how many of you have advanced degrees? Come on, raise your hand if you have a college degree. Okay, wow, we have a lot of education, a lot of smarts in the room, right? What's up with that? Why do you think it is that every kid, 95, my experience, 95 to 100% of classrooms of kindergartens, first graders, hey, how many of you can paint a picture? Boom, every single hand's up. Now here we are adults and 10% of us had our hand up. So what's up with that? Who did not have your hand up over here? Did you have your hand up for painting a picture? Did you? No, so you can't paint a picture? Nope. Not a pretty one. Okay, how about you? Can you paint a picture? No, how about you? A bad one, how about you? Same as him, a bad one. Okay, Mark, where's Mark? This is gonna be interesting, right? From a psychological standpoint, I'm not a psychiatrist, but this is pretty amazing to me. Because based on this informal study, let's find out if that's true, okay? Let's find out if it's true. Let's say I had some paints up there, and I said, what's your name? Val. I said, Val, here's a paintbrush, there's a bunch of paint me a picture on that canvas, and I'll give you 10 grand. Could you do it? Oh, yeah, okay, great. So you were lying a minute ago. You were? Excellent. How about you, sir? For 10 grand, can you paint a picture? You would try. Okay, try to give me 5. Try to give me 5. No, you gave me 5. Try to give me 5. Yeah, okay. Okay, it's a yes or no question. For $10,000, could you paint a picture? Yes or no? She said, I didn't even see him move his mouth. He threw his voice over there in a more higher tone pitch. Yes, just say yes, let's go on. For 10 grand, could you paint a picture?
Yes.
Yes, I have a friend who has cerebral palsy. He can't work his arms so well. He puts a paintbrush in his mouth and he paints pictures. Can everyone in this room paint a picture? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, but when you say to yourself, I can't paint a picture, what don't you do? Yeah. You don't even try. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. right? I can't paint a picture, so you don't. Think about your patients. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do physical therapy. I can't. It's a belief based on a lie, an absolute lie. And how many times do we lie to ourselves or the people in our office? Oh, I can't do that, I can't paint a picture. And I was with this group. It was at another hotel down here. It was the Colorado Ranchers Association, Saturday morning. 700 people in the audience. I love asking this question. It's amazing to me. And so this kid happened to be there with his grandpa. How many of you can paint a picture? 12 hands out of 700. And here's this kid, his hands up. I had the mic. I said, hey, what's your name? He's like, William. I said, William, how old are you? 6. I said, can you paint a picture? Now listen to what he said. He went, yeah. Okay, I'll repeat that. He went, yeah. There was no hesitation. There was, no, not a good one, or it wasn't a, yeah, it'd be terrible, or not like him. It's terrible, no good. It was simply, yeah. And then I asked him a stupid question. How about all your friends at school? Can they paint a picture? And he's like, duh, duh. I'm like, okay. I said, he was an outgoing kid. I said, jump up on this chair. Do you mind? He jumped up on the chair. I said, look at all those adults out there. Most of them said they couldn't paint a picture. Why do you think that is? And I give him the mic. And here's this little kid. He looks around, 700 adults out there. He's looking around. He's like, oh, they just don't have their paint supplies. Isn't that great? Like if we had our paint supplies, we could paint pictures. But we have this belief that says no. So based on this informal study, you tell me who has more self-esteem and self-confidence, a group of kids or us here in the room today? Who says kids? Raise your hand. I'm curious. Keep your hands up. Okay, wow, look around the room. Who says us? Raise your hand. Who's not saying Jack? Raise your hand. I'm not going to say anything now, right? So if what we're saying is true, I believe there's a lot to learn from kiddos, those little small ones. Here we are, the adults. But there's not a lot of self-help books for 4-year-olds, right? How to become a better 5-year-old. Here, son, read that. The 7 healthy habits of a 6-year-old. Get on that one, right? But we have all these self-help books. We have all these things. So I think that kids, how about kids being hurt or injured? Are they more resilient than most adults, yes or no? Yeah, let's look at all the qualities of a kid, and then we're going to talk about tying this into how to go all in. Because watch this one. Well, let me go here. Yeah, I'm going to go here. Good. I was going to go there, but I'm going here. Great. Another question. I need a volunteer right now to come up here. It's going to be fun, okay? You're going to learn something new, and you're going to be supported. Who are all the people willing to come up right now? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. Okay, great. Same number of people that can paint a picture. Isn't that something? So let's look at this one. Because I walk into a first grade classroom, I ask that same question, how many hands do I have up? So what's up with that? Look at the engagement study. 70% of Americans aren't engaged at work, right? So here's these kids, like, I need a volunteer. Oh, pick me, pick me. So most of us don't have our hands up right now. Why do you think that is? And there was silence. What's that? Fear, very good. So us adults, we have a lot of fear. So we could say the kids don't have a lot of fear, right? So we're going to look at that and see how fear holds us back from going all in, being more engaged, working with people in a different way. So kids we have a lot of fear, right? What are some of the fear? Those of you that didn't have your hand up, one sentence, why? And by the way, what you're about to say, we all have. So do your patients, okay? So did you have your hand up? No. How come? In one sentence or less, how come?
I don't really like being in front of crowds.
Okay. Why not?
I don't know.
Okay, we got time.
Comfortable.
It's not comfortable. Okay, let's go back to the opioid conversation about we want to be comforted and we want to look outside ourselves. Kids have joy. We have pleasure. Vegas is pleasure, right? It's short-lived, right? And we want to. How many of you have seen 4-year-olds playing soccer? Raise your hand if you've seen 4-year-olds playing soccer. Doesn't matter who's on offense or defense, right? It's like swarm ball. They go this way, they go that way. So I was at Wash Park not too long ago, and my buddy was there with his kiddo. These 4-year-olds are going around like this. All of a sudden, it's like swarm ball. Here's Michael. He stops in the middle of the field. The rest of the swarm continues. Now, his dad's concerned. Is he physically hurt? Is he emotionally traumatized? Is he going to embarrass dad? All of a sudden, Michael, in the middle of the field, oblivious to everyone else, he gets this big smile on his face. His arms start going back and forth. He's like, man, I love this game. and then he catches up with the kids again. Now, how many of you walk into your offices on a Monday morning, big old smile on your face, arms whipping back and forth, man, I love this job. Raise your hands, please. Okay, good. And they're all sitting next to their bosses. Way to go. Okay. So we don't do that as adults, right? Why don't we do that? Let's figure that out. And then we're going to go back to there. Why don't we do that? Your name, ma'am? Christy. Okay, you're not going to go shopping. King Soopers later on today. Let's say you're shopping. You love peaches. They're on sale. 20 cents a pound, something ridiculous. Are you going to do one of these numbers? Oh, I found my peaches. I found my peaches. Or something like that. You might. Okay, good. You go, girlfriend. Okay. But why don't we do that? Why don't we express ourselves like that as adults? Why is that? Help me. What's that? We forget what? We forget how to play. Very good. What else? Fear embarrassment. You don't want to be embarrassed, do you? Of course not. How much energy do we spend as adults in our lives trying not to be embarrassed? 80%. Wow. Then what are we doing? Right? I mean, a lot of energy could go into better customer service, having more fun like Michael on the soccer field, et cetera, purposes, community, going out and helping, whatever. But we don't want to be embarrassed.